Like once if like they hear like Satan on the other side of the room, you know, feel like you should be a good friend and like help your friend out. But apparently in this ritual, nope, that doesn't matter. What's up, Rad Fam? Today I want to jump back into another paranormal ritual game, and this is one I have never heard of before. I came across it when I was researching like rituals and games to share with y'all, and it's really creepy. This one's called Channel Infinity, and it's about a ritual that involves, you know, completing certain steps and summoning some entity or another portal to another world through the television set. Just like talking about it is already giving me chills because it's giving me like Poltergeist and like The Ring mashed up vibes. So let's get to it. First things first, whenever we cover paranormal games, I gotta make this disclaimer, y'all. Please do not ever play any games or do anything that we talk about on this channel yourself. This is purely for entertainment value only. Just because, regardless if you believe in the paranormal or not, or if it's dangerous or not, there's real life situations that you can get hurt by doing these rituals. Like, you know, if you're running around in your room in the dark, or, you know, it has you involving lighting candles or holding a hammer like this one does. It's really weird. You know, just like situations like that where you can accidentally hurt yourself. So please, just for your sake and then for my consciousness, do not play these games. Okay, we're good. You've been warned. Now, before we move on to the actual ritual itself, I think we need to know a little bit of backstory of what the heck is Channel Infinity. Now, that's kind of a difficult question to actually answer. It has a lot of steps and a lot of like choose your own adventure style. Like if this happens, choose from this. And if that happens, choose from these two options. It's very, very confusing. Channel Infinity is a paranormal game ritual that has a player or players. This one actually can have multiple people playing it, that had to follow a series of steps, the ritual, to contact this creepy channel that's like, does it exist? Does it not exist? That's the whole urban legend of it. And some stories say that this paranormal channel is an entity that you're summoning, or it's a portal to another dimension with an entity responding on the other side. It's just like a whole bunch of creepiness. But if a person does do the steps right and they are given access to this paranormal channel, one of two things seem to happen. One, this channel is going to let them in on some crazy secrets. These secrets can be dark and twisted and terrifying and creepy and can involve the person or the world or someone they love or someone they hate or maybe someone they don't even know. It's going to be some sort of big secret. And I say secret because that player or players are not allowed to ever speak a word of what they learned through this channel. So right there, I don't understand why you'd want to know. I personally don't like keeping secrets, especially if it's a big, deep, dark secret one. I don't want to know. So keep that to yourself. So right away, this is an urban legend that I definitely do not want to play because that just seems like a burden. And the second thing that could possibly happen is that this channel is going to allow you to ask it questions in return. So once you answer all of its questions truthfully, you're not allowed to lie, it will know apparently, and the entity will be very upset with you if you fib something. Then the person can ask whatever question they desire to this entity. Again though, whatever information they learn, they're not allowed to share with anyone outside of that room. I don't know, all around to me, this doesn't sound like a fun game, but it is incredibly terrifying, and that's why we're going to cover it today. But now that I think we have enough information on what Channel Infinity is, though it's very mysterious, and that's why I'm so interested in it, I think now we can actually move on to the steps of the ritual and the requirements of it and all that jazz. Like always, whenever we cover a paranormal game, I like to use a website that lists the steps, just so like I don't personally forget a step and leave something out. But again, whatever website I am using for the video, I always leave a link down in the description below, so if you want to go read it further, if you want to read it for yourself, you can definitely do that. And I'm gonna look different in just a second because I actually had to record this part of the video again on a different day because my camera, for some reason, which hasn't happened in a really long time, did not record or save that footage of the first part of the video. I don't know what the heck happened. Was it a ghost? Was it an entity that decided to, you know, press stop recording? I don't know. Actually, no, they'd had to press delete because there was nothing there. It was weird. Kind of freaked me out, I'm not gonna lie. But let's get to the steps. Now, for the actual requirements of this urban legend, it says that the players need to be in a quiet room with a door, so most likely a bedroom, not really a living room situation. They'll need one television, and this website says the older the better. So, you know, if you got a tube TV lying around, that is ideal, though a more modern TV is acceptable. I wonder if that has to do with like maybe nostalgia, like, you know, like The Ring coming out of it, or if there actually is a purpose for an older TV, the better. The players will then need one remote control. It does not have to be the actual TV's remote control, but it needs to be one that has like the channel buttons as well as like a power on and off switch. One key, so a house key, a car key, a lock key, doesn't matter, nothing specific, just a key. One cell phone, and this is a creepy one. It says one weapon, and this website says a hammer is a great option. Now I'm gonna stop you right there. If you're thinking, oh, should I play this urban legend? I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say if an urban legend says you need a weapon, yeah, skip this one. Once the players have agreed to play and they have all the requirements, now it's time to move on to the actual ritual itself. And ooh, just saying those words always creep me out a little bit. So once they're ready, the players will have to set the television in the quiet room. So if it's a bedroom, it's already gonna be set up, so that's ideal again. The players are then going to turn on the television and turn it to a channel that they don't receive, so one that's going to produce some sort of static screen. So then the players are going to take that remote and place it at like arm's length, so you don't have to be holding onto it, but it definitely has to be in the nearby vicinity. Now, like most of these other paranormal games, this is the point where once it's on and it's set up, the players have to shut the door and leave the room. And if there's anyone else in the house, they gotta tell them like, hey, don't go in there. We're summoning some creepy stuff, so just like leave my room alone for a little bit. And the players have to leave that room for 3 hours, which again is a pretty typical time. Now, it doesn't say what time of day you have to start this ritual. A lot of rituals though do say nighttime, like midnight, 3 a.m., or to plan it to where it starts at midnight or 3 a.m. This one doesn't mention that, which is surprising that it doesn't. While the players are then waiting, they want to gather the following items, and that's the rest of the requirements. So like the key, the book, the personal significance, the cell phone, and the weapon. And once everything's gathered and the time has reached 3 hours, oh, that's when it's time to find Channel Infinity. While this is an urban legend game that can be played with multiple people, only the principal player is allowed to go into the room after those 3 hours. So even if it's one extra player, so one partner, or 5 from a sleepover, they have to stay outside the door. So one person, I guess, has to be the brave one of the group. Freaking thank you. That principal player is going to sit right in front of the TV, so where their view frame is pretty much taken up by the entire screen, and they have to lock their eyes onto the screen, not looking away. And the website simply says stay there, stay still until the player begins to feel different. They're going to start feeling a presence. They're going to start feeling like they're attached to this TV somehow. Things that don't sound healthy. Once the player has gotten into this paranormal weird feeling state, that is when the other players can then enter the room. Then the principal player is going to select the partner that means the most to them. So if they're playing in a room full of people, you're gonna have to pick favorites, I suppose. Then the player is going to hand the item that is of personal significance to the other partner. And then once they are given that item, they are told to leave the room by themselves and to not come back into the room regardless of what they hear on the other side of the door. And that's a lot, and that's not something I'd be willing to agree to, because once if you're hearing screaming or crying or thumping that sounds dangerous, that just seems once if they hear Satan on the other side of the room, feel like you should be a good friend and help your friend out. But apparently in this ritual, nope, that doesn't matter. And then once they leave the room, the principal player is going to turn around, so they're going to turn their back to the TV. The creepy TV. Do not like that at all. I don't like the idea of something being behind me. And the player has to listen closely. If they hear silence, do not proceed with the ritual. If they do hear a noise, pick up the remote control and turn to face the television and proceed to the next step. Ugh, okay, no thank you, that is so creepy. Once the player turns back around and faces the screen, there will be a yes or no question appearing on the screen. Answer it with the remote. Press the channel up button for yes and down for no. The player has to answer truthfully, and if they don't, if they try to lie, if they try to deceive this entity, it will know. And bad things will happen. The player is said to have to answer as many questions that appear on the screen. So if you're going to be there for, 2 questions or 26 questions, it's up to whatever's playing with you to decide, not for you. So you can't get up and stop whenever you want. No. Not up for you. You have given that right up because you wanted to play with something. At the conclusion of the questions, one of 3 things may occur. If your favorite television show appears on the screen, watch it. It will be difficult, but do not look away under any circumstance. If this is the case, proceed to the first step. If an image of the person or thing you hate most in the entire world appears on the screen, pick up your weapon and destroy the television set immediately. I don't think your roommates or your parents, or if you share the TV with someone, is going to like you doing. So yeah, again, this seems like this is an urban legend that is just going to cause more problems. I don't know why you're said to destroy the TV though. Like, I hope that's not like placing a curse on the person you hate. That's weird. It doesn't mention what the heck or why that would appear. And then after the TV is destroyed, proceed to step 1. If you look around and feel like something is just off, different from the original feeling of something being off, pick up the cell phone, the key, and the book. They will be available for you here. Then exit your home. So not just your room, your entire home. Leave your home, it's not safe. Find the nearest public building, open the door with the key, and enter. Apparently this key is going to have mystical abilities and be able to open any lock. Inside the building, find a room with only one way in or out. Enter it and close the door behind you. Sit down and read your book. If you hear nothing, do not proceed. If you hear footsteps, it's like a chill down my spine. Wait until they fade out of auditory range, then begin to count out loud to 250. That's a long time to have to sit there while hearing footsteps. Then proceed to step 4. This is really confusing, and I know while just like hearing like step 1, step 3, step 4, like it's gonna like be hard to keep track. So again, I'll leave the link down below if you want to actually like read it yourself, so it's like easier to comprehend. That being said, I'm reading it and it's still not easy to comprehend. Even this website says that this urban legend game is very complex. It's long. There's a lot of like secondary steps if something goes wrong. Normally it's like did something go wrong? Stop playing. Get out of your house. Did something go right? Here's a scary spookiness. But no, this one has like a lot of secondary options. Listen, if you hear 3 knocks, it's always 3, open the door. But if you hear 4 knocks, repeat the words, "I forbid you," twice. Then open the door. That's a lot of trust. Something knocked that's not supposed to be there. I don't know if it's gonna listen to me, you know? If you open the door and there is no one there, do not proceed. If there is a statue of a person you love outside, destroy the statue with your hammer. Then to proceed to the next step. Feels like you're placing like some sort of curse on people, and you know, I'm not here for that. But like the false sense of security that you would have, right, if you open the door and no one was there, you think, oh, okay, I can leave. And then it's like, no, that's not what you're supposed to do. I would mess up in a heartbeat. Then after the statue of the person you love is destroyed, that is when you're said to exit the building. Then look at the moon. Again, there's so many different options. It is like a puzzle. It's like a choose your own adventure game, really. If you see a pink half moon, take out your cell phone, call your 3rd most recent contact, and proceed to watching the channel step 1. If you see a pink full moon, take out your cell phone, call a random number. Before the person on the other end picks up, bite your tongue straight through. Again, okay, this game is way more dangerous than I thought. Then proceed to watching the channel step 1. If you see a green half moon, remove your clothing, run home, don't look back. Okay, this urban legend is getting real weird, isn't it? I don't know about that one. Then proceed to channel step 1. If you see a green full moon, you will be incapable of proceeding. And they don't say what that means. So after all those steps are completed and the person is finally back home, now it's time to actually watch Channel Infinity. I know you might be thinking, oh, I thought the questions were Channel Infinity. Nope, they weren't. After completing the 3 scenarios, the person will have reached Channel Infinity. The player may now do any of the following. Press the guide function on the remote control, select the show they believe will answer the most pressing questions, and watch it carefully. Continue watching the static or no signal screen. Pay close attention to what, if anything, actually appears on the screen. If you look at it the right way, it too will answer your most pressing question. And then to end the show, turn off the television and leave the room. For such a complex urban legend game, that is a very simple way of ending it. My thing is, like, you're playing this game to get answers, but like, how trustworthy is the source? Because, you know, a lot of times it seems like paranormal games, like, you have to take everything with a grain of salt. Like, they might not be the most truth-telling entities that are answering your questions. So how much can you believe? Now, this website does mention 2 important like notes. The player can only summon Channel Infinity up to 4 times in their lifetime. I don't know why you'd want to do it 4 times. I don't get why you'd even want to do it once, but a maximum of 4 times. And then this website just simply says, and if you happen to see the green full moon, the one that says you cannot proceed, it says, "I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry." And I'm gonna take that means you're cursed for the rest of your life. And GG's for you, I guess. Oh, okay, well that's creepy and weird. Oh, I don't know if it captured on camera, but Frankie just jumped and moved in the viewfinder, and it scared the crap out of me. So I think this is a good place for this video to end. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you like this paranormal ritual game explanation, please give it a thumbs up and let me know what you think down below by suggesting other ones so that I know you wanted to see other ones in the future. And if you haven't yet seen it, up on the screen right now is my previous video where we dive into like this recently released UFO footage that's pretty darn unnerving. So definitely check that out if you haven't already. And until next time, keep it radness, and I'll see you real soon. Bye. Now when I'm editing, I'm gonna have to have my TV on or else it's gonna freak me out.